Welcome to our video series on offering instant software downloads to your visitors. In this video, we'll show you how to find a programmer for your instant software. Once you've decided on the type of software you want to create and you've put some initial ideas and plans together, some detailed ideas, then what you want to do is start looking for your programmer. And there are three good places you can start looking. One of them is rentacoder.com. I've used this site once, and I thought it worked fairly well. But personally, it wouldn't be my first choice when I'm looking for a programmer, because I didn't find the whole finding a programmer and writing a program experience through this site that great compared to other sites. But you may want to try that and see how you feel about it, and see how it works for you. So you would be a software buyer, and you can just sign up. Okay, another, of course, very well-known site is elance.com. And I've put some software projects here as well, but I've never gone through with them. I've never actually chosen anyone for the product through this site because I found some of the bids were very expensive, surprisingly expensive. But again, you may want to sign up and see what sort of responses you get. What I've found works very well for me, especially since most JavaScript projects are pretty straightforward, is Scriptlance. Scriptlance.com. And you can sign up and place your project just by clicking on Post a Project. And you'll start getting bids. What I'm going to do is log in, and you can see some of my previous projects through this site. Okay, I've logged in, and my projects are here. If I click on View All, so far, I've had 2 full projects through this site and 1 still pending at the moment. But as you can see, the first project, Affiliate Program Management. If I click that, we can see more details. I have some details there, including a detailed description. And when you have these descriptions, you have to be very detailed, because you want to make sure it's difficult for programmers, software developers, to misunderstand exactly what you're looking for. So I put a detailed description, and then you have you see the project bids. And the more stars, the more dark blue stars they have here, the better their previous reviews. It's like eBay in this respect. The better the previous feedback, the more safe you are picking that programmer. So you get an idea of the bids and the time frame. And it's also suggested that you detail how long you expect the project to last. And I chose this programmer here. And actually, he left a note, "See private message board for details." If we go to the private message board, here's where people leave private messages, and you can leave more details and have chats effectively with the programmer before you choose one. So there's quite a lot detailed here. Okay, I've gone back to the screen that lists the projects I've done in the past. And as you can see, because the programmer proved himself with the first project, I picked him again for the second project, the JavaScript quiz project. And actually, because I used the same programmer here, if I click this project, as you can see from the description, that's all I've entered, which is not helpful at all. The reason why is I've already agreed with this programmer via email that he's going to be the person I'm going to go with, I'm going to use for this project. However, he wants to do things properly through this site because it helps with his feedback, and also they have an escrow service, which is useful to use. So I just had a very quick description, he placed a bid, and then I chose him for the project. If we go to my email here, okay, that's the guy's name, and there's been a lot of back and forth with him. And here, this email here, you see from sites I visited, JavaScript sites, I included some sample code of what I had in mind just to give him an idea of exactly what I was looking for. Obviously, not for him to copy, but as an idea, a good starting point of what to expect. And I included many more details for him here. And I did a little bit of programming myself, but it didn't work out very well, but just to give him further ideas. But also, I started to put together some web pages of how the software would look. Just some web pages with the kind of text I would be looking for the quiz functionality. And that gives him more idea of just exactly what I'm looking for. So with my email, by including sample code, and also by including demo web pages, and also giving him a detailed description, that told him pretty much all he needed to know. So the project went very well. So you have to be very specific with programmers and offer them as much information and help as possible, and ask them to give you regular feedback and send you, let's say, beater code. You know, code that isn't finished, but send you code as they're working on it to give you an idea of what they're doing and how they're doing. If they're going in completely the wrong direction, you can turn them early on so that can be corrected. So send them a lot of information. Pick your programmer carefully and send them a lot of information and keep a close eye on what they're doing. Okay, let's close this. And back to Scriptlance. So for JavaScript projects, I found that Scriptlance worked well. You may want to try, as I mentioned, Rent-A-Coder or Elance, and see what sort of bids you get and what background the people who place bids on your project have. So it's important that you look at people's feedback, and I strongly recommend that you use an escrow service. Scriptlance has a built-in escrow service. So let's say in this, let's go back a page. Okay, this project, in fact, the programmer I chose, who I'd already decided on via email, the price was $125 with delivery within 7 days. That was the price we agreed on. So I put the whole $125 into escrow at Scriptlance. So that money sat there until the end of the project, and once we were both agreed, the money was freed up and sent to the programmer. So once the money's been put into escrow, I can't touch it, and the programmer can't touch it until I verify that the project has gone well, and then it goes to the programmer. So using an escrow service in this way can help you avoid problems of sending people you don't know money up front. And also, I find that it helps motivate the programmer because the money's effectively there. They just need to do a good job. And using this service has worked well in those respects. So those are points to keep in mind when putting together a description of your project, when picking a programmer, and when bearing in mind potential bids and potential turnaround times. So keeping all that in mind, that should allow you to pick someone who can do the job on time to a high standard. And then, of course, they'll feel reassured they'll get their money when the project is done to the standard you require.